Okay guys, welcome to another Mamemeister and Chums Talk. Pish, it's been quite a while since I've done one of these now. I'm delighted to have Mark joining me now. Mark has a rather spiffing YouTube channel. Let me get this right, Mark, it's 20th Century Gaming, is that correct?
That is correct.
Excellent, got something right there. As usual, I've been fanning about for the last half an hour trying to get this working, but we're here, we're good. It's not going to be a long one because Mark has told me he's the biggest fan of X Factor, so you want to get away to
Sharon Osbourne one, you see that.
So listen, Mark, thanks very much for joining me, mate. It's just a very off the cuff blether. I like to talk to people about video games, and that's kind of my favourite part. So the question I always kind of ask anybody that I talk to is, when did you first know about computers? What was your kind of first exposure of computers? Was it at school, a friend, or something?
Video games or computers?
Just computers. When did you first get to see a computer?
I did Atari 2000. Well, there'd been a Atari 2600, and there was a lad up the road who's in the Navy now. Like, so he came down and says, "Oh, I've got something better than that." I says, "What is it like?" He said, "It's a Commodore VIC-20." I didn't know what he was talking about. He fetched it down and he put some games on, and I remember playing Site War Shopper. You know the games. What else was there? I can't remember half of them.
In fact, you know what? I didn't actually. I've never had a VIC-20. I don't have any. I've never actually played a VIC-20. I'm a massive Commodore fan, but the VIC-20 that kind of bypassed me, I'm afraid.
Well, I loved the version of Seamus on it. I thought that was great.
Is that similar to the Seamus that I think you got me playing in that live stream thing that I was doing?
Aye.
What's the name?
It is.
What's the name of the company again? Sign Up Software.
Is that what it was? Aye. And if it's, you're probably just reminiscent for yourself of Berserk. You're a big Berserk fan, and even a lot wise the enemy was like he's called Shadow, I think, and
of course it is. Aye, that's right. Aye, so yeah, it's very, very similar to Berserk. It's quite a tough game actually. When I was playing it,
it's like a really compact playing area you've got. So
aye, and it's almost kind of gauntlet, kind of very, very narrow corridors rather than the sort of open expanse of Berserk.
It had a bit of a sort of not just clear the mission, not just clear the screen. You've got like dig other things as well.
So you had an Atari 2600 and your mate had the VIC-20. Did you eventually get a VIC-20?
I did. I actually went to school one day. I was in the comp, and one of the teachers was just drilling it into us. He was saying, "Why are you all buying Atari 2600s? You should be getting a Commodore VIC-20." This is when it must have first came out, and he must have got one. He was out with him with himself. And I was going, "What's he talking about, man?" Because the first two games I bought like with the Atari 2600 was actually Berserk and Defender.
Right.
And I was going, "Well, you can't play Berserk and that on a computer." Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I did get one because I seen what games they had, and I didn't have it too long actually. Then I moved on to the ZX Spectrum. So
did you get a VIC-20 then you got the Spectrum?
Aye.
I think the big thing is, I mean, obviously, you know, I mean, when people talk about like they say to me, "Oh, did you have like an NES or a Master System, whatever?" And I think no. And the reason was, I think, you know, obviously the fact that, you know, even Atari 2600 games. I mean, I was never lucky enough to get one. Always wanted one. It became my sole mission. Aye. You'll be old enough, Mark, to remember Kenny Everett actually advertised it.
Aye.
Bless his soul.
If it's possible, yes.
I'm sure it was Space Invaders that was the game that used to show, but I always wanted one and I never ever got one. But yeah, when you got obviously a computer, you know, games are a lot cheaper, you know, whereas an Atari 2600, the games, I don't know how much was it for a game, Atari 2600 game?
Yeah, if I remember, I think even back then it might have been about 30 quid.
30 quid. Now, I mean, 30 quid, what would that be, about 1981, something like that? That was
a hell of a lot of money.
That was probably about, I mean, I don't know what the average man earned in 1981, maybe about 100 quid or something, maybe not as much as that. So you're talking about a third of your wages, I think.
It's just, I mean, I know the games are that expensive that I only had a couple of games, and I just thought, well, what's the point? Do you know what I mean?
So did you get did your mum and dad buy you it for your Christmas, the Atari?
It was my brothers and that, I think it was year my mum died, actually. And my brothers chipped in and they bought me and my younger brother one. Now, Derek,
Oh,
who's
very
a
nice.
fan of he's a fan of your channel as well, like our Derek.
Oh, brilliant.
So they all chipped in together. And, they bought us a couple of games as well. And we were allowed to have the Defender, just the instruction book from about November. And every night we would look through the instruction book, looking at the sort of the enemies that you're going to be fighting. And they look massive. And I was saying to my brothers, put it on the game, make sure they're not that big, because they shouldn't be that big.
So wait a minute, you got the instruct. Was the game for Christmas? But you were allowed to look at the instructions.
Look at the instructions.
How cool is that? There you go. You're not getting to play it, you wee bugger, but you can look at it. But it's funny how though. I mean, I've got a mate, Dave. He's actually just started doing a channel, retro gaming memories. Really good. It's just I'm talking basically, but he was saying, talking about how. Well, he goes on about the smell of the manual, which is slightly odd, but yeah, I totally get what he means. Back then, it was special because whether it was a computer game or even just a toy, looking at the instructions, looking at it, and sort of anticipation of what you're going to get to do was part of the experience. And now you get a Nintendo Switch game, you open up the box, and it's like there's nothing in it.
I know. You didn't get the kids get stuff like that any time of year now. It's not just for Christmas.
No, it was strictly birthdays and Christmases. So how long did you have your 2600 for? You got that at Christmas?
That was there. Sorry,
I'm saying your Atari 2600. You got that for your Christmas. How long did you have that until you got the VIC 20?
I can't really remember. Probably about a year and a half or something. It was not someone that I was religiously playing with.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I got bored with the games. Even though they're good games, there's only so many times you can play them. Did a couple of swaps with your mates here and there, and then I realised that the Commodore VIC-20 was like the way forward for me.
So, see, when you got your VIC-20, where did you kind of get games at that point? Could you buy them in shops? I mean, there was no such thing as like John Menzies or. Well, John Menzies and Dixon's existed, but they didn't sell games in these places until quite later on, I think.
No, it was, again, I didn't even have that many games for the VIC-20. We had the lad up the road. We used to get a couple, I can't remember where we got them from. Can't remember, but we used to just swap, really. I must have had about 5 or 6 games between us, to be honest. I think it was like a couple of like Jeff Menty games as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like Grid Runner. Yeah. What else was that?
There was Matrix. Grid Runner was in. Matrix was a sequel. Grid Runner is actually better on the VIC-20 because Jeff wrote it for the VIC-20 and then he ported it to Commodore 64 and other machines. But the VIC-20 is the version to play.
Aye. I done the VIC-20 video of Grid Runner. Just because I remember playing it.
Right. Brilliant sound as well. So did you, at that point, were you buying games or had you discovered the wonders of copying games?
Copying. Up front. No, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money to buy games. It was just copying off your mates, and it just seemed to be the normal thing to do.
That's it.
Wrong.
That's the thing.
It's wrong.
No, I know. I mean,
even nowadays, who hasn't got a copied CD and DVD in the house?
Yeah,
you know.
That's just exactly what it was. I mean, to be fair, I bought plenty of games. I had a Commodore 64 and I bought loads of games for it. But when you're getting offered software for free, you're not going to turn it down. No.
It was not till I got the Commodore 64 ready I started like getting them properly, buying them.
So obviously you had the VIC-20, and then did you have to sell the VIC-20 to get the C64, or did you buy that yourself, or what? Or how did that come about?
I bought them all myself, apart from the original Atari 2600. I was doing milk round, $8.50 a week, and I used to save me money up. I bought, like I say, I sold the Commodore VIC-20 with the money for that. I saved up. Yeah. I went in W.H. Smith's and I seen a game on the Spectrum and a game on the Commodore 64. Can't remember which one it was. Can't remember anyway. Mm-hmm. And I seen the Commodore 64, and that's what I wanted. I couldn't afford it, so I bought a second-hand Spectrum off my mate. When I went into the stadium, he was in his dining room and he had a Cavern Fighter loaded up. And he showed us that and Chucky Egg. And I thought, oh, I love that. So I bought it for £80, second-hand
80
Spectrum.
quid, that was a good deal back then. That'd be a good deal now,
Aye.
you know what I mean?
Loved the Spectrum. The colours, I thought the colours were, the old-fashioned Christmas lights, what you turn on, the red, green.
Purples and greens.
Really, vibrant. So I always loved it.
You know what, Mark? I mean, to interrupt. I mean, I was a Commodore 64 guy through and through, and I was like yourself. I wasn't lucky enough. My mum and dad, they bought me a computer. They got my bloody Texas TI 199. It was.
I've heard that's what you had.
Bloody awful. I don't think the computer was awful, but there was no software available for it. So I had one game for it, and then eventually I thought this is awful. So I got myself a part-time job. You remember Woolworths? There was a big. It was called Woolco, which was like Woolworths on steroids. It was a gigantic big store. It sold everything. It sold bloody mopeds, golf clubs, sweets, you name it. I can always remember playing the Vectrex. So I got a part-time job in Woolco. I think I was getting about £12 a week, I think it was. And I took out HP on my Commodore 64. It was like £15 a month I think I had to pay in it. But so when people talk about I remember getting my Spectrum for my Christmas. Well, I didn't get all my computer stuff I bought for myself. So I didn't have that memory because it was me that bought it.
Aye, but you could choose what you wanted, not, couldn't you?
But so going back to what I was talking about. So I mean, I was a C64 guy, and my mate had a Spectrum, and it wasn't because I was snobby. I mean, but I was used to playing the Commodore 64, and then I would look at say Beachhead or Raid Over Moscow, which were just like absolute stunning games, and then he showed me it in his computer, and I'm like, that looks shit. That's like a toy. I've got a proper computer. He's got a toy, and I really, I would go up to his house and he'd say, "Oh, do you want a shot of Night Lore?" I went, "Nah, you're okay." And I was quite happy to sit and watch him playing it. Whereas when he came to my house, he had two joysticks and he would play Exploding Fists, whatever. But I always looked upon. I did look down my nose at the Spectrum. I thought it's rubbish. There was one or two games that maybe Night Lore, and I thought I was kind of jealous because the Commodore 64 sort of couldn't do kind of 3D graphics. But however, I've since owned a Spectrum for a good number of years, and I realise it's an amazing little computer. It's an absolute powerhouse. And once you appreciate the subtleties of the Christmas lights. I've never heard it described like that, but that's perfect. It's
and I love I've still got two upstairs, the 48K rubber Spectrums. I love the sound coming up the actual machine. I've always said it sounds like a bunch of fairies farting inside of it. Sound effects and stuff.
If you play any early Spectrum game, there was only a handful of sound effects that were possible. There was like the wee sort of like farty. I'm not even going to attempt to do the noise. It was like a wee farty. It was like the attic attack when you killed a man. And these were the sound effects that every game had. And then gradually, they started coming out with these other stuff. And there's some demos that I've got from my Spectrum now, and it's just mind blowing. It's mind blowing what they were capable of. But I think that whole thing. I mean, there's games. I did a video I did last week, and I put it out this morning. Actually, what was it? A 8-bit face-off kerfuffle, and it was Dan Dare, and I looked at the Amstrad, the Commodore 64, and the Spectrum, and I think the Commodore 64 had the best graphics, the colour. But there's just something. If I was going to play it, I would play it in the Spectrum. Same with Manic Miner, it's got to be the Spectrum. There's just it's got its subtleties, and it's a wonderful.
What's someone about? Can you remember somebody asking you to do kerfuffle on Dan Dare, the three of them together about a year ago?
Was that you? Was it? Oh, I've got a terrible memory.
I was called Gobble Peas then.
What were you called? What did you say you were called? You've still had the same.
My channel was called Gobble Peas then.
You know what I do? I do actually remember that. I'll write it down actually, Mark. I've got a pad here. I'll write it down. Yeah. Okay. Right. So that was Dan there. So what do you want me to do? You want me to play all three games rather than different versions, or?
No, I'm saying that was me. I watched it today about a year ago.
And I haven't done it yet. It's on my list.
You have?
Did I?
You did.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant you want me to play all 3 different versions. Aye, that's right. It was I remember playing. Yeah, I remember playing the very, very first one. I think in there were different games as well, weren't they? They were completely different.
Well, that's what I said. I said there's 3 different games on the Amstrad.
That's right. And it's the same with like.
I said it would be good if you could do a video for that.
It's the same with like Cobra. I did one recently with Cobra. That always kind of interested me, or interested was the wrong phrase to use, but I was always intrigued as to why, a company, say Ocean, say, right guys, we've got this license, it's the Sylvester Stallone film Cobra, this is what it's going to be, going to be, you run along platforms, you kill this and you kill that, and then they obviously went away and they obviously used the strengths of each host machine and came out with 3 totally different games.
Possibly that's what must have been, aye.
But so what was your favourite Dan Dare then?
Probably the Commodore 64.
That was controversial. Aye, that was more kind of it was more like comic strip, wasn't it? I think the way it kind of the graphics were.
Aye, I liked the. Is it Stimpy? The little thing. My dog reminds me of the mole out the nose.
And does it not go? Ooh.
Aye, very bouting a little twat.
So
his suit on the Commodore 64 though, Dan Dare's suit just looks far too big for him.
It's like a wee.
Gone right past his hands, his sleeves, and you go, what's he doing?
I can visualise it now. Dear. So, yeah, obviously you had a Spectrum for. How long did you have that before you eventually decided? What made you think, right, I want to get a Commodore?
Basically, when I couldn't afford one, and I bought a Spectrum instead, I thought that's what I want, a Commodore 64. Then I seen Ghostbusters on it, and I went, oh my god, that's unbelievable. And I thought, definitely getting one now. So I stuck me thing in, if you remember, when you advertised stuff in just your local newspaper for sale. I sold me Spectrum for £100, and I was terrified when they came round to buy it in case one of the games wouldn't load. I was checking the volume all the time, make sure it was the right volume, and he bought it for £100, and I bought a second-hand Commodore 64 bread bin through Merton, like a mining place. This lad, and I got one game with it, and it was Scramble, but it's not analog Scramble. It was just called Scramble. That was it. It was just like a blue.
Was it maybe Rabbit? Wasn't it Rabbit Software? Was it? I mean, there was loads of different Scramble games at the time.
I actually, you've just reminded us to check that out as well.
That's sad if I knew that it was Rabbit Software. But what I think is quite interesting about your channel, Mark, just I'm jumping ahead here, is you've got exactly the same timeline. And the games that you played are the ones that I remember. And, you're talking about analog Scramble. I mean, my memories of analog was getting computer and video games, and they had these coloured adverts. And it's like, what the hell? Because the graphics for all the Commodore 64 games with analog were always really, really good. And they stuck out, you know what I mean? And that Scramble was one of the very first games that I got. I mean, I think it was a copy written off, and playing it now, yeah, it's really jerky. In fact, I don't know if you know, there's a tweak, not a tweak, would you call it? Somebody's kind of enhanced it so that it plays smooth. But believe it or not, this is how nerd I am. I've actually played it since, and I was playing the smooth version. I thought, no, that's not right. I've got to play the proper one. I went back to the
You'd rather play the jerky one. That's exactly what I'm like. Yeah, you're a fake. Get off, I want the jerky one. But the ship on that's got to be, for me personally, it's the best ship explosion ever. I love it how it just fragments into 4 or 5 different parts.
And they kind of shudder, 2 bits kind of go up, and then they go up in an arc, a sort of parabola, I remember that from maths, and then they sort of fall down.
It's like an airfix model being separated in slow motion.
Actually, I mean, when I'm trying to do my Blind Mates Only, that's where I'm sort of talking to, like, I wouldn't say famous people that are involved in the industry. Was it Daryl Etherington, I think his name was. I actually I did a search on Facebook to try and get a hold of him. I actually saw he got interviewed at one of these game shows. The guy that wrote Scramble for the C64 by Analog, so there you go. But I couldn't find him on social media anywhere. But so have you still
Oh, you've getting a few. You've getting a few people like it.
Yeah, you
Interviewing
know,
them.
it's really, really funny, and it makes me quite, I suppose, quite pleased. Sean Southern, I don't know if you saw the one I did fairly recently.
Aye, I did.
Now,
Aye.
I loved his games, and I just, when I try and get
Aye.
a hold of somebody, I think to myself, who can I get? Oh, Martin Galway. I mean, I've pinged Martin Galway a Facebook message, and you can tell
Aye.
somebody's read it, and he didn't reply, and I thought, stuff him. Rob Hubbard,
Aye.
well, he doesn't do social media, but
Oh,
I typed in Sean Southern, and up it came, and I thought, oh, I'll send him a message and a
aye.
friend request, and then about a month later,
Aye.
he came back. Oh, sorry, I've been on holiday. I got your message and I was going to reply to you, but I didn't get a chance. And yeah, that'd be great. So of course, I spoke to him, and he's such a nice guy. I mean, really, really down to earth. I mean, the funny thing was, he's probably forgotten more than you can remember. He goes, I can't remember that game.
Aye. You probably remind them.
I don't remember anything about that game. And the real kind of surreal moment for me was after the sort of interview thing. I was talking to him on Facebook, and I said to him, so do you ever play your own games? He goes, I've not got any way to play them. He said, I don't have them, and I've got no way of playing them. I says, well, give me half an hour.
Aye.
So I end up emailing him all the games that he's ever written with emulators, and you need to add that, and you go to that add tape, and then I was telling him how to load his own games. But
He's
oh
got
man!
amnesia.
But then what was quite funny was somebody commented on the video, saying how, oh, we're part of is it the C16 Appreciation Society or something, and he's like the Holy Grail. We've been trying to get in touch with him, but we just can't get in touch with him. Oh, and we're really devastated that we missed the opportunity to ask him a question. He says, oh, if you ever get a chance to speak to him again, could you ask him all these questions? And I'm like, right, okay. So I pinged him a message last night, Sean, any chance answering? He's, here you go. And he's actually given me the email address of is it Andrew Morris, who did the graphics for all the Lotus games on the Amiga. So
Aye.
he's like, I've got all these guys wanting to ask me questions. I'm like the go-between.
Ask it yourself.
But it's quite interesting. But so have you still got your Commodore 64, or did you get rid of that?
No, I know. Never
Oh,
get
you've
rid of your
still
Commodore
got the
64.
original.
I've got the bread bin in the loft of where I used to live. My kids are separated now. And I've got a 64C. Might do a video
Oh,
on it.
right, okay,
You'll
yeah.
see it's got buttons missing. It's still got kebab stains off the 80s. Because I played thrust a lot. The space bar smashed, so I've took one of the F1 keys or F3 keys, stuck that on the space bar. So it's a bit of a Frankenstein 64.
That's not so good.
to be
I mean, when
honest.
you're playing Commando, I used to use my big toe to press the spacebar, but if you've only got one key to aim for, that's a smaller target.
Aye.
So what prompted you to buy the what's it called, the C64? Was it C or something it's called? Aye, what
64C.
prompted you to buy that? Does your bread bin still work?
Because me bread bin, the colours weren't working on the telly properly. The colour was either coming up green or really mottly.
Right.
It sent it away and they said they didn't know how to fix it. So I went, when I left Sunderland and went to look for work down Oxford, got a job, lived on the streets and that for 6 weeks, but never mind. Got a job and I just came home and bought it. No? Just thought, no, I'll get a new 64, and actually it was Armalite the game that I bought
Right.
it with. That was about 1984, 89, I think. So I had a brand new 64, so I was back in. I was feeling good again. But then I bought an Amiga. No, sorry, Atari
Yep.
ST.
Same as myself.
Aye. Yeah, I bought the pack with Thrusty and Gauntlet.
Was it
Same
Gauntlet
pack
1
as
or
me.
Gauntlet 2? What is it?
One, I think. I bought it from out the magazine. One of the mail order things. I think it was Avish and Mike was.
Aye, Evesham
Don't know if
Mike was, aye. Aye.
Aye.
I remember getting. I saw. People have heard my history about my video game systems, but yeah, when I eventually got an Atari ST, I think one of the first games I ever bought was Gauntlet, and I thought this looked incredible,
Aye.
but it plays so slow. It's like runs on treacle,
Aye.
and it looked. I mean, I've played it since, and it's like, oh right, okay, but yeah, back then it was astonishing, but it just played so slow, and it actually stopped me playing the game, unfortunately.
Aye. Aye. I'm not a massive fan of Gauntlet, to be honest. Like, you've got to have a mate, you know, and you just it's a kind of game
I
for a
think
laugh.
you know Gauntlet's one.
Yeah.
I mean, I love, you probably know, Mark. I love arcade games. That is my bag. Playing arcade games, shoot 'em ups. You know, I'd rather play that than bloody Skyrim or any of the modern consoles. Even though I've got them, I would rather play these old games.
Aye.
What was I going to say?
Same.
I've completely lost my train of thought. I'm terrible for that. I'm thinking I'm going to say that, and then I go off on a tangent, and by the time I come,
We're with Gauntlet.
Gauntlet, that's what the word. I've completely forgot that.
Arcade games.
And yeah, Gauntlet's one game. It's as dull as dishwasher to play now, because the whole point of Gauntlet was surviving. And I know you could say that it was about high scores. Gauntlet was about getting to the next level, and now with MAME you can just go bump 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 bump. You can fire in infinite, and it makes it pointless because, you know, Elf needs food badly. Oh, bing bang, fire another credit in, job done. There's no, it's kind of killed that game for me. You know what I mean? But it's still nice to be able to play it. But
so I had the ST and then the Mega. I bought myself an Amiga as well because I had money when I was down south.
Oh, did you keep your ST at that point?
ST, I think I sold it not to get phones for the Amiga. I just sold it because I think back in the day you were under the culture of you have one machine and that's it.
There was really nothing.
And the other one's your enemy.
I think you're right. I mean, I don't think, the funny thing is, I mean, I've got an ST up in the loft, but I've got no way of loading any games. And I don't think I've not got any real inclination to get games for it, because all the games are out in Amiga, and they were generally better. Apart from the early days, they were kind of straightforward ports.
Mm-hmm. I remember Super Sprint. I played that a lot.
Oh, and Atari ST. That you know, you've just absolutely nailed it for me. Yep, that one game, and that particular version, that was the best version. I remember buying it. I bought it in a local computer shop. And I used to use the keys. It was a tremendous game. So arcade perfect.
But and then, like I said, then I moved on to the Amiga. Bought my brother once. I knew he would never be at the fourth one, so I took it up. I took it up son on the forum, and Derek, and he loved that. Amiga, Sword of Swordon. I remember
Sword of Swordon. Did I do a video with that recently? I think I did. I think I did. I have published. I think I put it a couple of weeks ago. Platformer. Can you beat 'em up fight? It's beat 'em up fighting games, and basically it's quite funny because I see it every time, and people still kind of give me a hard time. I say to people, this is not my top 10 games. This isn't my favourite games. This isn't the best games. These are the 10 games that I remember playing the most. They might be the 10 worst games, but they're the games that I played the most. And then, of course, people say, oh, you missed out such and such, and you didn't include that. I goes, because I didn't bloody play it. I says,
no. It's like you've emphasised that it's what you remember playing and what you enjoyed or whatever. Not necessarily what you know, but your critical evaluation what actually is the best.
Oh, absolutely. I know. And yeah, Sword of Sodan, I mean, I was playing that, I said maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And even the thing that jumps out now is the size of the graphics. They were huge. They were like almost a whole TV kind of size, like. quite a basic game, but really tremendous atmosphere, the sound effects, and you know.
I thought the mix was great. Like, I loved F-18 Interceptor, F-29 Retaliator.
The Interceptor, that was the one by you know what? Again, I've got it stuck in my head. Bob Dunnerman. That was the name of the programmer, and it had really atmospheric sound.
I
could never actually play. I could never actually play. What do you call it? Flight simulators, but I had that one, and the thing that I used to use that as my go-to to kind of show off the Amiga. And the only thing I used to do is I used to take off, and then I would press, I can't remember what button it was it one of the numerical key buttons, 8 or something, and you could see behind, and you would see the aircraft carrier getting smaller, and then I would zoom outside view, and I would turn on the afterburners, and all it was it was just yellow. It was like, oh, look at that, you go, it's like, whoa!
Well, you felt it. You felt the heat.
from the yellow.
And then you used to say, look at that, look at that, look what I've got.
I mean, I don't know what kind of frame rate these things are running on. They probably weren't the greatest, but that was...
Aye, well, it was great at the time.
Mental. So, have you still got your Amiga, or did you ever eventually sell it?
Nah, I haven't got the... It makes 16 bits, like, gone past my sort of time, my, like, retro time. Really,
right. So,
retro,
what's
obviously, that? But it's the early 80s, really. That's sort of my gaming period.
Have you never? I mean, have you never? Did you never get like a console or anything like that at all? Then, Mike.
I bought a CD32, a Mega CD32. The reason I bought it is because it came with a disc. The only reason I bought it was on the back of the disc. It said this disc contains 40 old school games or something, and I read the list, and it had, like, you know, the usual what you would think. Oh, get in that and play this again, before emulators and that. So I paid £300 for this Amiga CD32 just to be able to play that disc. But just crappy Galaxian clones on. And
was it kind of like the Cascade? Remember the Cascade 50 games? It was like that.
Oh, it wasn't as bad as that. Not as bad as that. It was public domain stuff, I think.
Oh,
is that
right. And this was on on a CD.
Yeah.
Aye.
A CD, aye. But I did enjoy some of the CD32. Liberation.
Tony Crowder did that one. Aye. Was that? Was that Liberation? Was that a kind of split view? Oh, I'm thinking was it Space Hulk? I think it was. It was like 4 different. You could control 4 different people at once. Or am I thinking of Captive? There was a game called Captive. Was Captive?
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
Liberation.
Liberation was like a massive intro, really big intro.
I'm trying to remember that one.
Mind Games, maybe.
Right, possibly. I got a CD32. Oh, maybe about a year ago. I think I got it for £40. I mean, they go for quite daft money now, but it's so easy to plug in. Obviously, it's, you know, power pack. You can have it sitting in front of the TV. And what some really, really clever guys have done, I mean, they tell you shouldn't do it because you'll burn the laser out, but they've been saying that about every single CD based system. Oh, you shouldn't play backups because you'll burn out the CD. I've never burnt out a CD ever, but there's actually clever people who've managed to put like 800 Amiga games onto one CD. So you can load this thing up and you've just got, you know, action games, fighting games. And what they've done is they've converted it so it's like, I think the CD32's got one of the worst controllers ever. I think it's only got 2 buttons. It's an awful controller. But they've adapted the games so that you can just sort of like, instead of pressing spacebar, you just press one of the bars. Like, but sadly, it was a massive flop. I mean, I think the biggest thing for the CD32 was the games. None of the games they didn't really add anything other than they maybe put some CD music, and people are thinking, wait a minute, I could buy this £300 CD32 console and £40 for the games, or else I could buy the £200 Amiga and have all these games plus thousands more. So nobody had, I think it was.
It's probably one of the consoles and computers that I had the most games for, because I was on this member of this World Books thing, and they used to make a CD games, and they used to send them through the post every month. I was going, what's that? Friggin' Alfred Chicken Run with. You know what I mean? And then if you didn't send it back within 7 days, you had to pay for them. So I ended up with loads of them.
So I can hear my own. I can hear my laugh on your side. So I need to keep my voice down. Actually, hang on. I've got a dog wanting in. In you come. I've got a dog. He's got a. I read a thing on Google, and it must be true. To try and calm dogs down with the fireworks, this scarf's wrapped around his body, and he's also got one wrapped around his head to try and muffle the sound, but it doesn't seem to be working. But he's a bag of nerves, isn't he, son? Poor wee, he doesn't know what to do himself. But so yeah, that's how these libraries things worked. You had to return it, or else it was like a direct debit. They just took the money off you.
Aye, 20 odd quid. And it ended up with some Heimdall, and I used to get play Ultimate Body Blows, and don't know what else. Chaos. I don't know if I had the Chaos engine. Did it? I don't know if I had that in the Mega or the CD32.
I know the CD32 did have an enhanced version. Well, enhanced, I think it had extra. It had an extra sound track, something like that. But so sort of moving on. I'm conscious of your time, Mark. I know X Factor's be starting soon. I don't want you to miss any of that, whatever. So I mean, obviously you play old games. Are you not interested in like modern consoles at all? Have you got any?
What I got after the Mega CD32 was anyway, Sega Saturn, loved.
Have you still got that at all? No. Well, that's a great. I've got one down here. That fantastic machine.
I'm not let go of that. You know, the usual Sega rallies, Sonic. Oh, I thought that was great.
And for shoot 'em ups as well, it's brilliant.
My brother's got a big Saturn collection. He's got Burning Rages and all that. Then PlayStation, Wipeout 2097, absolutely love. Super Nintendo, I bought the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive together when I was down in Oxford, and I thought I could only have one because of the way things were in the early days. So I decided it was either Sonic the Hedgehog or Super Mario World, and I got rid of the Mega Drive, kept the Super Nintendo. I remember reading the Hobbit, the book, down in Oxford, and I thought I would love to find a video game that was like this that took you on a big adventure. I went down to West Smith's in Oxford, picked this game up, looked at it, read the back, and I thought, wow, that sounds amazing. And I took it home, plugged it in, and I phoned in sick for 3 days and played it, and that was The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And since then I've been like a massive Zelda fan as well. So
if Mark's employer is watching this video, he's really sorry. Honestly, I hope you didn't pay him. Did you complete it in the 3 days? No. That was Zelda: Link to the Past you're talking about. I don't know how far. I'm terrible for. I don't think I'm particularly bad at playing games, but I just kind of I give up probably far too easily when it comes to video games.
I've seen you say that in one of your videos.
I know nowadays it's because I've got so many different games. I mean, I'm looking up there. I've got a PlayStation 4, and I'm looking up there, and I've got half the games. There's one of my mates. It's quite funny because he'll buy a brand new game, and then within a couple of months, does anybody want it? And yeah, I'll take it. £13 delivered, and it's now like he just says to me, right, I'll send me £8 and I'll send you this game that I've just bought. But it's like I've got these games up there. I call it like the shelf of shame. It's all these games that I've never played. I've never likely to play. So when you play a game, you think, oh great, and then right, okay, and then you move on. And I know that's not the way to do it, but
no, everybody does it that way, don't they? Like you have games that you reminisce with. You have games to collect where you are pretty good, and you think, oh, I'll play that one day. And then you'd have your hardcore games that you do actually play. That's where I am anyway.
So, see, if you're playing a game not for your YouTube channel, what would you play? Do you still genuinely enjoy playing 8-bit games? Because that tends to be most of the stuff that you can record. Or do you play more modern games?
Whatever's on me front of me thing, that's what I'll be playing. The most modern game I've got is Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, right, is that for the Wii U? Or yeah,
for the Wii U, and I'm probably 15-20 minutes into that.
That's what.
Because I keep on playing the old stuff still.
I'm exactly.
And I'm a big Zelda fan, so it's quite surprising.
It's an amazing game, and I did the same. I mean, I'm looking at my Switch there just now. I played it for maybe a couple of hours, and I put out a video saying, I mean, I don't really cover modern systems, but I just thought this is one of the best games ever, and it is. And then I've never gone back to it, which is quite shameful. I've got the new Mario Odyssey, which is really nice.
You've just put a video for it, haven't you?
Did you watch it?
No, I'll just get back from work and put the tacky on.
I just thought for a laugh, I came up. Well, it was actually I used to write for an online magazine, and we came up with this thing called, another guy came up with it called. In fact, it was quite funny because my mate he'd asked me, he had bought himself a Dreamcast, and he says, I said, I've got hundreds of games I can give you copies of. Oh, brilliant. He says, look, could you tell me what the good games are? So what I did was I listed all the games, and I just put down like, I don't know, House of the Dead, rubbish, blah, 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 utter pish, fantastic. So he came up with a thing, Mamemeister minimalistic reviews. So what I've done is I've resurrected the Mamemeister minimalistic review, and the Mario. It's quite funny because the review is
19 seconds.
That includes the intro and the outro.
That's what I was saying. I thought 19 seconds. What's he doing?
I just hold up and go, "This game is not shite," and that is it. And I was actually expecting. I thought I am going to open the floodgates for people going, "Oh, fucking wanker, give me a thumbs down." I've only got one thumbs down in it, so fortunately, other people appreciate it's a laugh. That's what it should be. I think some people, you'll be the same, Mark. Some people just think, how dare you say? I mean, I did a review of it was Lotus 3 on the Commodore 60, no, on the Amiga. And I basically said that I thought that was the worst Lotus game, and I upset so many people that were getting really quite irate that I had dared say that this game wasn't particularly good. And I thought, look, it's only my opinion. It's just, and people give you a hard time. I've had some people say to me, "Oh, you should, I'll do like possibly the worst game ever, and I'll play it for a bit, and I'll go, oh, if you'd actually taken some time to learn the controls and read the instructions and read a wee bit about it, you would know what you're doing." And I'm like, it's my bloody channel. I'll do exactly what I want. If you don't like what you see, then you can do one. Go and watch something else.
Yeah, you're gonna get them, and
So just listen, Matt.
I can't even notice me if anybody sees them.
Right, just to finish off, Mark, your YouTube channel. I mean, as I said, obviously I don't know. The funny thing is, see, when you first start a channel, it's. I mean, when I started my channel, I had like 2 subscribers for about a month, and it's the hardest thing ever to try and get out there because people don't know you exist. They can't. You can't think. I wonder if there's a guy called Mamemeister's got a channel. Nobody's going to Google Mamemeister. Nobody's going to Google 20th century gaming. It's just one of these things you find, and obviously I sort of have no idea where. I don't actually watch that many. I do watch quite a lot of YouTube, but there's probably maybe 6 channels that I watch. And I watch yours because they're thoroughly enjoying. They don't go in for too long. They're really, really funny. What prompted you to kind of get into YouTube? What kind of started that?
What started me on YouTube?
What made you?
I was showing my kids what games I used to play. I was talking about, and I said, "Tell you what, I'll see if there's any on YouTube." I typed in Commodore 64 Bruce Lee, and I pressed on this video. It was Bruce Lee 2, and it was John Gage, and I'd never seen anything like it before in my life, and I couldn't stop laughing because I didn't think anything like that would be on YouTube, and the way John is, he's like pretty genuine. And,
he calls a spade a bit like ourselves.
Transparent, and he's just says what he says and gets frustrated. And I thought that was great, and I just started watching. Then I didn't even realise there was like a community of people making retro games, like themselves and stuff. And I started like watching other people's, and I think, oh, click. I didn't even think about subscription buttons. I just watched people's videos.
Yep.
And then I started seeing how important it was, like that people enjoyed being subscribed to, and I thought, oh, I'll start doing that. This person's good. And your channel actually. I seen what games you were playing. That was one of your, I think it might have been one of your Berserk games you said. Yeah. And Berserk games got like a bit of history for me. I didn't even realise it was an actual arcade game, Till I went to South Shields. I played me Atari 2600. I went to South Shields and I heard this bloody speech coming out of a machine. And I turned round and what the bloody hell's that? I turned round, it was a Berserk machine. And I looked at it as if it had been, I felt betrayed. So I thought, what are you doing? You're an arcade game. You didn't tell us that. I thought you were just on the Atari 2600. So I was John Gage. That sort of got us to watch people on YouTube.
Do you know? Oh, you don't know John personally. You know John just through you found
YouTube.
Aye.
And you just get to know people through watching the videos, really, didn't you? So it stemmed from there, and it was good. I enjoy it. I just thought, I'll give it a go myself because it was a bit of a personal development thing as well for me. Like I'm a counsellor, so part of your training is developing yourself.
Ah, right, okay.
It's difficult for me to speak a lot because I'm usually listening.
Of course, aye.
So I thought, that would be a good sort of tool for us to develop that side of it, you know. One of the reasons.
Good. So how long have you been? When did you start doing it? Was it over a year, or was it under a year?
August. It was originally doing thrust videos, trying to get the first 6 screens under 6 minutes.
Is that what you started doing? Was it?
Aye. And I thought, I'll have a go at it in one of the games. So I done Android 2, and when I was talking on him, when I looked back, I felt like a little mouse sticking his head out, thinking, hello, I'm Mark. No, so then you just say, who gives a shit when it's on, you'd have to carry on.
And do you obviously enjoy making the videos? I mean, that comes across.
I love the bits, man.
That is.
It's amazing what you freaking the crap you come up with.
So have you any, like, I'm not saying, you know, what's the future for YouTube? Are you going to expand? I mean, I think primarily you generally making like 8-bit games. It's just kind of playthroughs. Could you see yourself ever getting the time or deciding I quite fancy doing like a sort of waffle type thing, or talking to somebody else or whatever? Or are you quite happy just the way it is at the moment?
I would like to do something different, because I think you can people get a bit bored with what you're doing. Get a bit bored with it. I think
that's the important thing. I think you could, because the way I always look upon it is I do it for me. If I wasn't enjoying it, I wouldn't do it. Although you'll probably be the same, Mark. You know, when you start to realise that you've got like loyal people who watch you, then you start to you do feel a bit of you've got a loyalty towards people, you know. And that's why if I wouldn't suddenly decide, I'm not going to do YouTube ever again, you know what I mean? You feel bad. So I mean, I think for yourself, I mean, I try and as I keep saying, I've got more features on a Ford Zetec Fiesta. I mean, it's I'm always thinking, what can I come up with now? Some of them work, some of them don't, you know. I'll let that one slide under the carpet, but
trial and error, isn't it? That's why I've done a couple of top 5s there, best man falls and stuff. It's just basically never been carry on looking at a few different games. All right,
but I think changing what you do as well is it helps keep it interesting. Because as I've always said, the day that I stop enjoying doing YouTube, that'll be the day I decide like I'm going to knock it in the head. You know what I mean? But I certainly enjoy it anyway. So listen, Mark, that is almost an hour. I've got a great knack of getting people to talk way more than they were going to talk. So I'm going to let you get on to X Factor. I don't want you to miss anything. Thank you very much for taking time to tune in, Mark.
Well, that's been great.
I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll get another one at some point. Keep up the good work. I always enjoy your channel. I genuinely do mean that. And I'm going to, if you've not seen Mark's channel, he's called 20th Century Gaming. Link is below. Please subscribe. If you don't like his stuff, then don't subscribe, for Christ's sake. But if you do like him, subscribe and give Mark the support he deserves.
Well, Alan, I just see on one of the Facebook pages I've actually advertised for the troll. So I think you need anybody on YouTube in relation for at least one troll. Anybody wants to troll us, come ahead. Be part of your personal development. I love it.
Okay, listen, Mark, thanks again, buddy. You take care, and I look forward to watching the next video, and we'll catch up again, mate. Cheers, buddy.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye. Bye.